Hey, did you know that DC really likes Batman? Well, they do, and they put out another Batman comic. It looks like this. It's free to read, and it's goofy as hell. If that sounds great, then cool, keep watching. If it doesn't, keep watching. Maybe I can convince you, because believe it or not, this actually has the potential to be a huge game changer for the entire comic industry. Hello, and welcome to Comic Drake, where I talk about comic books. My name is Drake. DC usually gets a reputation of being the dark and gritty company for sad boys who want to see tough guys doing grungy stuff. But like, if you pick up any of their superhero books, then you'll start to notice that they are actually super wholesome and heartwarming family stories. Seriously, DC loves their family setups. Superman, Green Arrow, The Flash, Green Lantern, and so many more have these groups of heroes, sidekicks, allies, and supporting characters that provide an emotional core for these larger-than-life stories about heroes saving the day from larger-than-life menacing threats. However, it's hard to deny that the Batman section of the DC universe is the most fleshed out and comprehensive of the bunch, and the family dynamic really shines through. You of course have Bruce Wayne leading the pack, the various characters who have taken up the mantle of Robin over the years, and their huge supporting cast. The fandom has seriously latched on to the strong and distinct personalities of these characters, which has led to all sorts of fan creations. Lots of these fan works tend to center around a kind of slice-of-life format, comically playing off of the inherent ridiculousness of what it's like to exist within a family of superheroes, and these creations have been super popular. I've always thought that it was insane that DC has never tried to capitalize on this by making an official manga-inspired slice-of-life comic about the Wayne family. Clearly, there is a big demand for this kind of content, and that is just leaving money on the table. We've actually decided that we want to make a manga-inspired slice-of-life comic based on the Wayne family. Oh, neat. This is Batman Wayne Family Adventures, a series from DC that's being made through a service called Webtoon. Let me be 100% transparent. This video is being sponsored. However, all of my opinions expressed in this video are completely my own. I am not being paid to give positive coverage. That being said, I genuinely really like this series, and it's already become one of my all-time favorite pieces of Batman media. For as much as I am a huge fan of American superhero comics, I'm just as much of a fan of anime and manga, with one of my favorite genres being slice of life. In addition to that, I've actually been a long-time user of Webtoon for exactly that kind of storytelling. For those that aren't in the know, Webtoon is a platform where anybody can post their webcomics, and my two favorite series on it are Let's Play and Heroine Chic, which are very much slice-of-life stories. That's why when Wayne Family was first announced, I was super excited about it. But more importantly, this is a huge step forward for DC in getting with the times. Obviously, I love American comics, but I'm also critical of the industry, because there are clearly significant hurdles that make it difficult for new readers to get invested in the hobby, which is why I have made videos calling out those problems in the past. As longtime fans might recall, my three biggest issues are price, confusing continuity, and difficulty getting books. Wayne Family subverts these barriers by being free, extremely accessible to read on either a phone or computer, and it's a self-contained series that's separate from the main line of comic books. If you're not a fan of the Wayne family, it is super easy to avoid it, and if you are a fan, then you can read it and enjoy it without being invested in all the other books that DC is putting out. Also, Wayne Family is super easy to read since it focuses on short one-shot stories, with some 2 or 3 episode arcs thrown in there for good measure. I'd personally love to see a big publisher like DC create more free and accessible content like this, and I really hope that Wayne Family does well, not only because I am a legitimate fan of the series, but also because I want other companies to see that this distribution method is something that should be embraced. But okay, I know that that was a lot to talk about, but as a huge nerd about the business side of the comic industry, it's something that I thought was important to discuss. But now, let's get into the series itself. Wayne Family is about the Wayne family, an endless supply of adopted, fostered, and biological superhero children of Batman. It's more or less an official version of those popular fan creations that have been going around the internet, with them actually going so far as to hire Starbite, a talented artist that has done plenty of fan art for multiple franchises, including Batman. In order to familiarize reader with the many characters in the series along with its over-the-top ridiculous world, readers get to see things through the eyes of Duke Thomas, aka The Signal, the newest member of the group. Again, there's not much of a plot per se, but rather a series of comedic and wholesome interactions between the various characters. That's not to say that it's completely ridiculous and absurd like Teen Titans Go, but rather like Lil Gotham, which is a super fun, cute, and heartwarming series that's actually one of my favorite pieces of Batman media ever. See, for as much as I love fast-paced action and terrifying mysteries, it's actually the humanizing moments and conversations that I latch onto when I read a superhero comic. I mean, I love the dark and gritty storylines about Batman being driven to the point of madness, but I love those issues about Batman sitting on the couch and watching TV with Jason Todd while he's sick, or the Father's Day breakfast that Bruce made for Alfred, so much more. What I care about first and foremost are the characters, and to read a series that's literally just those moments has been a great palate cleanser in between all of the various serious books that I read on a week-to-week basis. One other thing that I really like about Wayne Family is that Batman himself isn't the focus of the series, because hot take, Bruce has always been one of the less interesting characters in the Batman series. You know me, I'm a huge fan of Dick Grayson. Just like the fan content that we've known and loved over the years, Wayne Family takes the established Bat characters and gives them strong, somewhat exaggerated personalities compared to their mainstream counterparts. I love how Nightwing is the heart of the family, as an endless beacon of hope and optimism, and Red Hood is the bad boy with a heart of gold. He's aloof, snarky, and likes to act like he's too cool for the rest of the family. Other fan-favorite characters who are often overlooked by the main line of comics are given more of a focus here too, like Orphan, Signal, and Spoiler. This is clearly a book that was made by Batman fans for Batman fans. However, I totally understand that everything I described might not be for everyone. After all, plenty of folks enjoy Batman media for Batman himself and for all the dark and brooding stuff. If that's you, then I would encourage you to still give Wayne Family a chance, since the episodes take next to no time to read and it's 100% free, so you have nothing to lose. And if I have sold you on the series, then feel free to stop the video right here and go read it for yourself, because from here on out, I'm going to be breaking down the plot of the first few episodes. Episode 1 focuses on Duke moving into Wayne Manor, and bratty little Damian Wayne gives him the complete tour, introducing readers to the characters and settings around the mansion. There's not really much to discuss here, since it's just your standard introductory scene that's meant to get folks familiar with the concepts and tone of the series. Episode 2 dives into the superhero aspect a little bit more, with most of the other core characters being introduced in their costumes, and Duke is brought in on a tradition within the family. If nobody gets injured during a patrol, then Alfred makes a huge spread of pastries. I mean, there's no way that he could have all of that baked and ready to go in between the family reporting the end of their patrol and returning home to Wayne Manor, but whatever. While all of the cakes, pies, and fruit are delicious, Alfred's literally award-winning cookies are the centerpiece. But despite it being the polite thing to do and let Duke have the last cookie since he's the new guy, an all-out war is fought over it. During the skirmish, the cookie lands on Bruce's mug, prompting him to join in on the shenanigans, but in the process, the cookie is thrown again, this time landing in Alfred's grasp. Thankfully though, he doesn't eat it, because even though everyone was wearing their gloves during this, there is no way that cookie isn't just completely covered in bacteria by this point. Episode 3 is Barbara Gordon's introduction to the series, and it's basically just a montage highlighting all of the crap that she has to put up with as the family's support. Episode 4 is a Batman-centric one. He got an alert that multiple safe houses were broken into and its equipment was stolen, so he suits up and goes to confront the thief, only to discover that it was Jason the whole time. This kind of harkens back to his origin story, where Bruce and Jason met because he stole the wheels off of the Batmobile. Episode 5 highlights the competitiveness between the Robins, with Dick, Jason, Tim, and Damian all trying to outdo each other in the gym. It's a fun dynamic of sibling rivalry that's always sort of been present in the Batman comics, especially Damian, who once had an entire issue where he systematically defeated all the former Robins in combat to prove that he was the very best like no one ever was. So yeah, these are super short stories with some details that I left out to make them extra concise for time. Most of the fun in the series comes from the art and the dialogue, so just hearing a dude on YouTube paraphrase them doesn't do you much justice, and I cannot stress how easy the series is to read. So if you're at all interested in this, then please, go check it out on Webtoon. It's a lot of fun. I know that Batman has been really oversaturated, but it's series like these that kind of breathe fresh life into anything because it is a fresh take on all of this. Instead of it just being the standard Batman fare that we've seen time and time and time again, this really fleshes out the more human aspect of all these characters, and I think that it has a definite place in all of the DC canon. But if you like this video, then why not consider subscribing or even watching another one? And hey, if you like this, then chances are you probably like Batman. So why not check out the playlist that I did with every single one of my Batman videos ever? I'm sure there's something in there that you'll enjoy. I would really appreciate it. But anyway, I hope you learned at least a little something new, and hopefully, I'll see you next time.